Hola, clase. This is lesson 6 for course 2. This is factors and divisibility. So let's get started. Factors are numbers that you multiply to get a product. And we know that because we had that vocabulary word factor at the beginning of the year in lesson 1. But they will also evenly divide a number. Okay, so think about those fact families. You can work backwards and still get a factor if you use division. Okay, so if we wanted to list factors of 18, there's a couple different ways that you can do this, and I'll illustrate both of them. You can make a giant list, and you can say, well, I know 1 will go into 18, and then you can put 18 way over here with a comma there, and then you can say, well, I know 2 times 9 is 18, and I know 3 times 6 is 18, and then there's nothing else in there. Okay, so there's one way, make a big list. The other way is to list the factor pairs. Okay, so you can say 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. And you know you're done listing those factors when this last pair, 3 and 6, when the numbers 4 and 5, when what's between those two numbers will not create 18. Okay? Couple things to keep in mind. Please go in number order. Okay, so start with 1, then go to 2, then go to 3. If you start jumping around, you're going to miss factor pairs. It's just going to happen. Okay, so here's some things that you need to keep in mind. And please write these down. The smallest factor is always going to be 1. Okay? The largest factor will always be the given number. Okay? And you can draw these arrows if you want. At least from here up there, I would. And then the remaining factors are in between. Okay? So remember that the smallest factor is always going to be 1, and the largest factor is always going to be whatever number you were supposed to list the factors of. Okay? Alright, so another thing we can do with factors is find the greatest common factor, or you might see it in the book as a GCF, that is greatest common factor. Okay, so the steps to find the greatest common factor: step 1, list the factors of each number. Step 2, find the largest factor that they have in common. Okay, that makes sense, right? Greatest, largest, common, common, the same between the two lists, and factor, the numbers that you can multiply to get that number. Okay, so what I would like you to do is pause the video in just a minute. You're going to make this list of the factors of 12 and 42, and then resume the video when you have that done so that you can check your work. Okay, so go ahead and pause, resume when you're ready. Okay, so if we make a list of the factors of 12, we have 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. Okay, there's our factors of 12. 42, we have 1 and 42, 2, because I know that that's even, so 2 and 21. Now will 3 go into 42? And you might have to go down here and say, well, will 3 go into 42? And we're going to learn a shortcut here in just a minute. 3, 12, 4, 12. Okay, so 3 does, that'd be 3 and 14. Will 4? No. Will 5? No. Will 6? 6 and 7. Now this is one of those factor pairs here, 3 and 14, that if you just start listing things, like you look at this and say, oh, I know that's 6 times 7. Oh, I know that's 1 and 42. You might not think about that 3 and 14 pair. Okay? So go in order and think things through. Okay, so we're not done yet. We listed the factor pairs. Now we need to find the greatest common factor. So which number is the largest one they have in common? So it's not going to be 42, it's not going to be 21, it's not going to be 14. 12? No. 6? Yes. So we have a 6 here, and we have a 6 here, so our greatest common factor between 12 and 42 is going to be 6.